Many times man lives and dies between his two eternities, that of race and that of soul. And ancient Ireland knew it all. Hi! 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 Whether man die in his bed, or the rifle knocks him dead, a brief parting from those dear is the worst man has to fear. Though gravediggers' toil is long, sharp their spades, their muscles strong, they but thrust their buried men back in the human mind again. Under bare Ben Bulbin's head, in Drumcliff churchyard, Yeats is laid. An ancestor was rector there long years ago. A church stands near, by the road, an ancient cross. No marble, no conventional phrase. On limestone quarried near the spot, by his command, these words are cut. Cast a cold eye on life, on death. Horsemen, pass by. Wale, 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 no, wale, 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 wale.
Once, some years ago, I asked a dancer why nobody performed Yeats' plays. She said, nobody understands them. Even most literary critics who admire Yeats consider his plays unstageable. Dramatic in neither form nor content. Yes, unstageable. But I say that the 5 plays of Yeats that focus on the great Irish hero Cuchulainn, I say these plays form a critical cycle, and their connectedness lies not only in the evolution of Cuchulainn from untried youth in a play called At the Hawk's Well to doomed hero in the death of Cuchulainn. This cycle also reveals the evolution of the great poet, a finisher of the myth of his own inner self. That Yeats understands the deeps of the mind as part of man's psyche, and that he sees drama as the vehicle for attuning to the innermost aspect of himself is evident.
I see my life go drifting like a river, from change to change. I have been many things. A green drop in the surge, a gleam of light upon a sword, a fir tree on a hill, an old slave grinding at a heavy quern, a king,
Cuchulainn.
Sitting upon a chair of gold, and all these things were wonderful and great, but now I am grown nothing, knowing all! I want to create for myself an unpopular theater, and an audience like a secret society where admission is by favor.
Yeats strives for a kind of poetic theater, not literal. This kind of theater is not literal at all. It's poetry. Yeats sees theater as a kind of magic where he experiences reverie. And this reverie expands consciousness, revealing himself to himself.
You remind me of...
I see my life go drifting like a river, from change to change. I have been many things: a green drop in the surge, a gleam of light upon a sword, a fir tree on a hill, an old slave grinding at a heavy quern, a king sitting upon a chair of gold. And all these things were wonderful and great. But now they have grown nothing, knowing all. Druid.
How great webs of sorrow lay hidden in the small slate-colored thing.
In the small slate-colored thing.
Small slate-colored thing. William Butler Yeats, 1865 to 1939. Poet, playwright, essayist, folklorist, fabulist, mystic, lover, leader, poet. I will tell you a story of this great Irish poet and his venture deep within.
Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild.
I will tell you the story of a great hero who burned bright and died at the river's edge.
Come away.
Yeats had a keen interest in Irish lore and antiquity, what he called the ruins of time.
From the ruins of time comes a hero called Cuchulainn.
Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild.
Yeats' body of work is far too vast a subject matter.
Cuchulainn's deeds are far too many to tell in one night.
But I will tell you of one line, one stream of work, his exploration of the great Irish hero, Cuchulainn.
But I will tell you what I can of his life and death.
Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world is more full of weeping than you can understand.
Yes, Cuchulainn's death. In my end is my beginning.
Very early in Yeats' career, he wrote a poem about the death of Cuchulainn. He worked it over many times in his life, while writing several other poems and 5 or 6 plays about Cuchulainn and his world. And in his last year, he completed an entire play, his final revision. And get this, the play was called The Death of Cuchulainn.
It is at the end that the beginning has new focus, and the middle parts as well. Look, he is calm now. The story begins at the end.
Now the earth whispers rumors. A hero does not become a hero by sitting on his hands. Cuchulainn, you have plenty of enemies. You have killed entire armies single-handedly, and there are brothers and sisters, fathers and sons, mothers, daughters, friends, many enemies. And Maeve, the great queen, has called them all together to end Cuchulainn's life.
This is the eve of Cuchulain's death.
And this evening the sky seems full of birds!
Just as on the eve of his birth, in the end is the beginning.
And on this evening, many enemies gather, and in the sky, birds!
It is the eve of Cuchulain's death. Birds fill the sky.
On the eve of his birth, 50 birds and 1 bird gathered in the sky.
This is the story of Cuchulain's birth.
The birds are here.
Birds are here.
And the hunters.
And the hunters! Stands alone in an open field.
With 50 women and 1 woman.
The king's missing sister.
Brother, you are welcome in this house.
Sister, where are we? Is this the she, the invisible land? Whose house is this?
This is my home. It is the house of my husband, Blue, the Longhand.
The sun god.
Connor, this is my son.
A half-blood.
You know as well as I, he cannot stay here. You are his uncle, and you are the king.
I understand.
That is the story of how Cuchulain came into this world.
Excuse me.
Cuchulain.
Many are the tales of his youth,
Violent and brave.
killing 3 warriors at one time, wrestling a monstrous hound, harnessing a flock of birds and a herd of stag to his chariot. He was ferocious as a boy.
And as a man, he... Are you?
You are mistaken.
You are.
My name is Ava.
Where?
My husband, Cuchulain.
His end is near.
I dreamt a horrible dream. Omens and portents. I am afraid for him. Is this the end?
It was you that said... You were younger then. Cuchulain came to you. You said,
May the gods make smooth the path before you.
And Cuchulain replied, and you, may you be safe from every harm.
What account have you to give of yourself, Cuchulain?
I am the nephew of the man who disappears in another in the wood of Bab. Now, what account have you to give of yourself?
That is not hard to tell. The daughter of a king should be a road that cannot be entered. And I have champions that follow me to keep whoever might carry me away from my father, the Dark King.
Cuchulain, go to Skaha. Return as a warrior.
I am equal to any.
You have not yet reached your highest strength, and I may not marry before my sister.
It is not with your sister, but with yourself that I have fallen in love. Fair is the plain of the noble yoke.
No one comes to this plain who does not overcome 100 men. No one comes to this plain but through Solid to Brontroken.
Cuchulain, go to Skaha. Return as a warrior.
Everything you command will be done by me.
The offer you make is accepted. That was long ago.
And?
He left to go to Skaha. She trained him. He fought for her. He fought and won over Ife, and eventually he returned to me. That was long ago. I should not have thought those things. It is a bad omen.
To Scotland, the mystical land where magic might be had.
That was a long time ago.
Cuchulainn goes to Ska, the warrior woman. He desires fame and glory. Ska sends him to fight against her enemy, Queen Ife. Even heroes fear death, and many wish to escape it. I want to write a play about that. A play about the chance at immortality. The play will be called At the Hawk's Well.
At the Hawk's Well, premiered in 1917. Yeats had become fascinated by the Japanese No theater, formalistic, symbolic theater that relies on simple gestures and culturally specific signs. Yeats believed that theater had become overly focused on making money, and that this led to realism, which
By vulgarizing drama also vulgarized its audience, like that stupid man who was bored at my play.
Yeats had been struggling with the problems attached to bringing the anima mundi, the world soul, and its spirit inhabitants on stage.
Art is art because it is not nature. It brings us near to the archetypal ideas themselves and away from nature. The actor who plays Cuchulainn should wear a mask, as in the No theater. What could be more suitable?
The play begins.
I call to the eye of the mind, a well long choked up and dry, and boughs long stripped by the wind.
And I call to the mind's eye pallor of an ivory face, its lofty, dissolute air, a man climbing up to a place the salt sea wind has swept bare.
The boughs of the hazel shake, the sun goes down in the west, the heart would be always awake, the heart would turn to its rest.
Night falls.
The withered leaves of the hazel half choke the dry bed of the well.
The guardian of the well is sitting upon the old gray stone at its side.
Her heavy eyes
Know nothing, nor but look upon a stone.
I'm afraid of this place. That old man climbs up hither who has been watching over his well these 50 years. He has doubled over a speckled shin.
The words, a speckled shin, are familiar to readers of Irish legendary stories in descriptions of old men bent double over the fire. The old man stands for a moment motionless by the side of the stage with bowed head. His movements suggest a marionette. He speaks. Why don't you speak to me? Why don't you say? You have not one word, while yesterday you spoke 3 times. Your eyes are dazed and heavy. Why do you stare like that? You had that glassy look about the eyes last time it happened. Do you know anything? It is enough to drive an old man crazy to look all day upon these broken rocks and ragged thorns and that one stupid face and speak and get no answer.
Then speak to me, for youth is not more patient than old age, and though I have trod the rocks for half a day, I cannot find what I'm looking for.
Who comes so suddenly into this place?
I am named Cuchulainn.
I have never heard that name.
It is not unknown.
What mischief brings you hither? You are like those who are crazy for the shedding of men's blood and for the love of women.
A rumor has led me, a story told of the wine towards dawn. I rose from table, found a boat, spread sail, crossed waves and have seen charmed and found this shore.
There is no house to sack among these hills, nor beautiful woman to be carried off.
Lead me to what I seek, a well where a solitary girl keeps watch among gray boulders. He who drinks, they say, of that miraculous water lives forever.
And are there not before your eyes at the instant gray boulders and a solitary girl?
But there is no well.
Can you see nothing yonder? And do you think so great a gift is found by no more toil than spreading out a sail and climbing a steep hill? Oh, folly of youth! Why should that hollow place fill for you that will not fill for me? I have lain in wait for more than 50 years to find it empty.
So, it seems there is some moment when the water fills it.
A secret moment that the holy shades that dance upon the desolate mountain know, and not a living man. And when it comes, the water has scarce splashed before it is gone.
I will stay here and wait, for never have I had long to wait for anything.
No, go from this accursed place. This place belongs to me, that girl there, and those others, deceivers of men.
And who are you who rail upon those dancers that all others bless?
One whom the dancers cheat. I came like you, when young in body and in mind, and blown by what had seemed to me a lucky sail. The well was dry. I sat upon its edge. I waited the miraculous flood. I waited while the years passed and withered me away. The dancers have deceived me. Thrice have I awakened from a sudden sleep to find the stones were wet.
My luck is strong. It will not leave me waiting, nor will they that dance among the stones put me asleep.
Leave the well to me.
No, I stay. Where is that bird?
There is no bird.
It sounded like the sudden cry of a hawk, but there's no wing in sight. As I came hither, a great gray hawk swept down out of the sky. It seemed to vanish away. Could I but find the means to bring it down, I'd hood it.
The woman of the she herself, the mountain witch, the unappeasable shadow. It was that shadow cried behind her mouth. And now I know why she has been so stupid all the day through and had such heavy eyes. She is possessed. At any moment now, I shall hear it bubble. If you are good, you will leave. I'm old, and if I do not drink it now, will ever. I have been watching all my life, and maybe only a little cupful will bubble up.
I'll take it in my hands. We shall both drink, even if there are but a few drops. Share them.
You have looked at her. She has felt your gaze and turned her eyes upon us. I cannot bear her eyes. They are not of this world, nor moist, nor faltering. They are no girl's eyes.
Why you fix those eyes of a hawk upon me? I'm not afraid of you, bird, woman, or witch. Do what you will. I shall not leave this place till I have grown immortal like yourself.
The madness has laid hold upon him now, for he grows pale and staggers to his feet.
Run where you will, gray bird. You shall be perched upon my wrist. Some are called queens, and have been perched there.
I have heard water plash. It comes. It comes. Away, come away. Empty your heart of its mortal dream. Wings will lead whirl round. Our cheeks are pale, our hair is a mound. Our breasts are heaving, our eyes are agleam. Our arms are waving, our lips are apart. And with any gaze on our rushing band, we come between him and the deed of his hand. We come between him and the hope of his heart.
Don't
The sweet rising jar.
Lay
dog's head on his knees among his children and his friends.
Among his children and his friends.
The accursed shadows have deluded me. The stones are dark and yet the well is empty. The water flowed and emptied while I slept. You have deluded me my whole life through, accursed dancers. You have stolen my life. That there should be such evil in the shadow.
She has fled from me and hidden in the rocks.
She has but led you from the fountain. Look, those stones and leaves are dark where it has flowed. There's not a drop to drink.
What are those cries? What is that sound that runs along the hill? Who are they that beat a sword upon a shield?
She has roused up the fierce women of the hills, Eve and all her troop, to take your life, and never till you are lying in the earth have you no rest.
I will face them.
Come to me, human faces, familiar memories. I have found hateful eyes among the desolate places, unfaltering, unmoistened eyes.
Oh, lamentable shadows, obscurity of strife. I choose a pleasant life. Among indolent meadows, wisdom must live a bitter life. So ends my play.
Boring. Boring. With Cahulin going off to battle, the hero loses the chance at one kind of immortality, but seeks another, the immortality of myth. Yeats calls him a man of action, who is conscious and deliberate. As Cahulin exits, the poet tells us in the stage directions that he is no longer as if in a dream. He goes into battle against Ife.
Ife. The great Skaha, warrior woman, bested my champion. So I told her to send her champion to me so I could return the favor. She sent her newest prize, Cahulin. We fought long and hard, and at last I broke his spear. He turned his head, cried out, "Look, your charioteer has fallen!" And I, like a green and untried youth, turned my head. He grabbed hold of me in that instant, threw me to the ground, and left me there. So I made peace with Skaha and ranged the hills, searching for Cahulin. Not to fight, but to love, and I held him as my own. But I was deceived again. He left me there to return home, to return to his true love, Ava. He left me there. He left me, and so much more.
Heard the sounds of battle.
Oh, Cahulin, your end is near. This is the night before
found in the winding stair, published 6 years before Yeats' own death.
Nor dread, nor hope attend the dying animal. A man awaits his end, dreading and hoping all. Many times he died, many times rose again. A great man in his pride, confronting murderous men, casts derision upon supersession of breath. He knows death to the bone. Man has created death.
Why are you out of bed?
I thought I heard the sounds of fighting.
Let it pass. It is only idle magic.
I sense a battle, and if there is, I hear it again. I've heard that my horse, the Grey of Maka, will not be bridled, and that she shed tears of blood. 3 times my mother brought me wine, and all 3 times the wine became blood. I was approached by 3 women. They seemed familiar. They had eyes of men I have killed. They offered me meat. I refused, but they insisted. I fear I'd eaten the meat of dogs.
Oh, vanity of sleep, hope, dream, endless desire. Beloved, let your eyes half close and your heart beat over my heart. And your hair fall over my breast, drowning love's lonely hour in deep twilight of rest. And hiding their tossing manes and their tumultuous feet.
Fault is not yours, but my luck is turned against me.
Think on better times, like when you bested Connell and Leary.
I was younger then, and unafraid of death.
This will not be the first time you stare into death's eyes.
Little wife, be at rest. Alive I have been far off in all lands under the sun, and been no faithful man. But when my story is done, my fame shall spring up and laugh, and set you high above all.
It is you, and not your fame that I love.
Excuse me, pardon me. Your friends are cowards, Coolin. I promised you all a great game. Chop off my head, I said, and then I get to chop off yours. Your friends agreed and they chopped my head clean off. Now my head is back on, and I have returned to finish the game. The best game ever. But your friends have fled.
Kono and Leary are stuffed with pride.
But I've agreed, a head for a head and a chop for a chop.
I think this is from the Green Helmet.
You whip off heads. I didn't want you to whip off your own, for it seems you can clap it back on.
The Green Helmet, 1910.
This is just the last few minutes.
The agreement was, you chop off my head, and I get to chop off yours.
He played and paid with his hand. It's only right we pay him back.
Oh, I demand the debt that's owing. Let some man kneel down there that I may cut his head off, or all shall go to whack.
I will give him my head.
Head on the block, my friend. Head on the block.
Do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Come on. Just do it, Mom. Just do it. Do it. Come on, just do it. Come on, do it. Do it.
Coolin, I have not come for your hurt. I'm the rector of this land, and with my spitting cat heads, my frenzied moon-bred band, age after age, I sift it and choose for its championship the man who hits to my fancy. And I choose the laughing lip that shall not turn from laughing, whatever rise or fall. The heart that grows no bitterer, although betrayed by all.
No, no, this is not right. This is not right at all. This is an abomination.
That was long ago. How I bragged on you that night.
This was not the greatest of my feats.
Of course not.
I stood alone against an entire army. For days, killing many. Some with my bare hands.
You made many enemies.
Yes. Keep him quiet. Maeve's army moves on. For 3 days the battle has raged. They call for Cuchulainn. They have one desire, his death. Should he hear this war, we know he will join. And if that happens, death is inevitable.
Inevitable?
You heard him as well as I. 3 signs. His horse, the cup. And if he has eaten the meat of dogs, this would be a violation of his very being.
Is he asleep?
Yes.
Keep it that way, Druid. I do not want to lose my strongest weapon.
Neither shaman nor wife can hold a warrior from his destiny. Love and magic have limits.
He swore obedience to me. I believe that oath has limits as well.
It was a dark day for him when he swore that oath.
On Valia's strand.
On Balia's Strand, premiered in 1904.
A fool and blind man enter from the door at the back. It was necessary to put women into some men's parts, owing to the smallness of our company at the time. A fool and a blind man.
Blind man, what a clever man you are. Though you are blind, I would never be able to steal anything if you didn't tell me where to look for it.
It is today the High King Connor is coming. He's going to be Cuchulainn's master in earnest from this day out.
He must be a great man to be Cuchulainn's master.
So he is. He is a great man.
Cuchulainn's master. I thought Cuchulainn could do anything he liked.
So he did. So he did. But he ran too wild. The Connor is coming today to put an oath upon him not to stop his rambling.
How will he do that?
You have no wit to understand such things. He'll say, take the oath.
I will not. I'll take no oath.
Listen, and I will tell you a story with a fight in it. A story with a champion in it, and a ship, and a queen's son that had his mind set on killing somebody that you and I both know.
Who is it? Who is he coming to kill?
Wait now until you hear more. When you were stealing, I was lying in a hole in the sand, and I heard 3 men coming with a shuffling sort of noise. They were wounded and groaning.
Oh, go on. Tell me about the fight.
There had been a fight, a great fight, a tremendous great fight. A young man had landed on the shore. The guardians of the shore had asked his name. He had refused to tell it, and he had killed one, and the others had run away.
That's enough.
I've told you all. I know who that young man is. I heard the men who were running away say that he came from Ife's country, and he was coming to kill Cuchulainn.
Nobody could do that. Cuchulainn has killed kings. Kings and sons of kings. Dragons out of the water and witches out of the air.
Hush, I say!
Does Cuchulainn know he's coming to kill him?
How would he know that with his head in the clouds? I know whose son it is. I wouldn't tell anybody else, but I could tell you. You like being told secrets.
Tell me the secret.
That young man is Ife's son. I'm sure it is Ife's son. It is born upon me that it is Ife's son. Ife, the great woman fighter, Cuchulainn got mastery over in the north.
I know. She's one of those queens.
I'm sure it is her son. was in Ife's country for a long time.
That was before you were blinded from putting a curse upon the wind.
There was a boy in her house. Everybody said he was to be brought up to kill Cahulan, that she hated Cahulan.
Where is Cahulan?
Oh, he's coming here to take an oath to Connor.
How can I remember so many things at once? Who's going to take an oath?
Cahulan is going to take an oath to Connor, who is High King.
Oh, what a mix-up you make of everything, blind man. You were telling me one story, and now you tell me another story. How can I understand things when they begin to happen if you mix up everything in the beginning? Maybe it's not true after all.
I tell you it is true, and more that is true. Listen. I know who the young man's father is.
Who is it? Tell me now, quick. Come out with it!
The young man's father is... Wait, there's someone coming.
Because I have killed men without your bidding and rewarded others at my pleasure, because of half a score of trifling things, you lay this oath upon me.
I leave a strong and settled country to my children.
And I must be obedient in all things. Give up my will to yours. Go where you please. I, whose mere name has kept this country safe.
I am High King. My son shall be High King. And you, for all the wildness of your blood, and though your father came out of the sun, are but a little king. I know your thoughts. For we have slept under the one cloak, and drunk from the one wine cup. I know you to the bone. Listen to me. Ife makes war on us, and every day our enemies grow greater and beat the walls more bitterly. And you within the walls are every day more turbulent. And yet when I would speak about these things, your mind runs as it were a swallow on the wind. Ah! Look at the door, and what men gather there. Old counselors that steer the land with me, and younger kings, the dancers, the harp players that follow in your tumults. And all are held there by one anxiety. Will you be bound into obedience, and so make this land safe for them and theirs? You are but half a king, and I but half. I need your might of hand and burning heart, and you, my wisdom. Cahulan, take the oath. Do what your High King bids you.
Are you so changed? Or have I grown more dangerous of late? That is not it. I understand it all now. It's you that have changed.
On this fire that has been lighted from your hearth and mine, we are one being, as these flames are one.
You've wives and children now, and for that reason cannot follow one who lives life like a bird's flight from tree to tree. It's time the years put water in my blood and drown the wildness of it. For all is changed. That unchanged. I'll take the oath.
Now listen, open the door, for I would have all know that the oath is finished and Cahulan is bound.
I have come alone to weigh myself against Cahulan.
You are but one.
I am of Ife's army.
Ife's army is far away.
That is the young man I told you about.
And are you noble?
I am under bonds to tell my name to no man, but it's noble.
But I would know your name and not your bonds.
Answer the High King!
I will give no other proof than the hawk gives its no sparrow. Yet look upon me, I too am of that ancient seed, and carry the signs about this body and in these bones.
To have shown the hawk's gray feathers enough. And you speak highly too. I thought they'd grown weary of sending champions. This fighting is welcome. Come near, boy, I'd have another look. Have you no fear of death?
Whether I live or die, it's in the God's hands.
That is all words, a young man's talk. But I'd have you for a friend, not for your hot heart and your cold eye. I cannot tell the reason. He's got her fierceness. I will keep him with me, Connor.
He has come hither not of his own name, but in Queen Ife's name, and has challenged us, and challenging the foremost man of us all.
Well, what matter?
There's no man I sooner have my friend than you.
But Ife say I turned coward.
Has some witch of the air troubled your mind?
If I had a son like you.
Witchcraft.
There's no more need for words. You'll be my friend.
We'll stand by one another from this day out.
So be it then.
No more of that! I will not have this friendship!
I will not have it!
Kahulin is my man, and I forbid it.
I will not have it!
You lay commands on me?
You shall not stir, High King! I hold you there!
Witchcraft is not in you!
Witchcraft!
No. Witchcraft. No.
Witches of the air? Why did you?
No, but...
Who set you to this work?
But I didn't.
Out, I say!
No.
Out!
Did I deny?
Out!
No.
I will fight you!
I will kill you!
I have seen! Why do you cry out? The ever-living have shown me what is to come in the ashes of the bull.
Kahulin!
What is your name?
It is written on your heart.
Who are you?
My father's son.
Who are you?
My mother's sword.
Tell me. She had no son. What father had he then? A soldier? Did you know, listener?
I knew nothing. The world is trembling. What is this trembling?
It is Kahulin who is trembling. What is happening?
It is his own son he has slain. Kahulin has learned the truth. He killed his own son.
stirred, stared on the horses of the sea and heard the cars of battle, and his own name cried, and fought with the invulnerable tide.
As Yeats approached his own death, he turned once again to Cuchulainn, but this time claiming his own role as maker of myth.
And when the fool and blind man stole the bread, Cuchulainn fought the ungovernable sea. Heart mysteries there, and yet when all is said, it was the dream itself enchanted me. Character isolated by a deed, to engross the present and dominate memory. Players and painted stage to call my love, but not those things that they were emblems of.
Blind man, Cuchulainn is going out into the deep water. There is a big wave. It has gone over him. I cannot see him now. He has killed kings and giants, but the waves have mastered him. The waves have mastered him. The waves have mastered him.
Cuchulain's defeat confronts him in the identity of his challenger. He enacts it by fighting the unconquerable tides, forsaking the world for the sheep, the imagination, the anima mundi.
11, 12,
The scholar and the hero
13.
go into the she.
14, 15, full moon, full moon.
Only Jealousy of Ava, 1919. A short play following Yeats' story of Cuchulain, continuing the poet's theatrical exploration like a song from a dream.
I desire a mysterious theater, always reminding and half reminding those who understand it of dearly loved things, doing its work by suggestion, not by direct statement. A complexity of rhythm, color, gesture, not pervasive like the intellect, but a memory and a prophecy. The play begins with a song.
A woman's beauty is like a white, frail bird
like a white seabird alone at daybreak after stormy night, between two furrows upon the plowed land.
A sudden storm, and it was thrown between dark furrows on the plowed land.
How many centuries spent the sedentary soul in toils of measurement beyond the eagle or mole?
Beyond hearing or seeing, or Archimedes' guess to raise into being this
loveliness, a strange, unserviceable thing.
A fragile, exquisite, pale shell that the vast, troubled waters bring to the loud sands before day is broken.
The storm arose and suddenly fell amid the dark before day had broken.
What death!
What discipline!
What bonds no man could unbind!
Being imagined within the labyrinth of the mind.
What pursuing or fleeing!
What wounds!
What bloody press dragged into being this loveliness!
I have filled this play with hints and convictions about the nature and history of women's beauty.
The sheep, the land of the fairies, the world soul, the sacred place within.
The poet, the scholar, and the hero go into the she.
Yeats envisioned the she as the land of beauty, a feminine beauty, exemplified by the darkest and brightest phases of the moon.
A mermaid found a swimming lad and picked him for her own, pressed her body to his body.
Clasped and plunging down, forgot in cruel happiness that even lovers drown.
The she! Once you have gone under, you cannot return the way you entered.
Now that my ladder's gone, I must lie down where all the ladders start. In the foul rag and bone shop of the heart.
For Yeats, women represented his soul. His tempestuous affairs with intelligent, artistic women were often the seeds of his greatest works.
I think a fierce woman's better. A woman that breaks away when you have thought her won, for I be fed and hungry at one time.
The most significant was his long, unrequited love for the actress Babgon. 4 times he asked for her hand in marriage. 4 times she rejected him.
I think that all deep passion is but a kiss in the mid-battle, and a difficult peace twixt oil and water.
After the last rejection, he promptly proposed to Maud's 25-year-old daughter, who also rejected him.
Candles and dark night, hillside and hollow.
Then, at 52 years old, he married a woman 27 years his junior.
The hot-footed sun and the cold, sliding, slippery-footed moon.
But even his young wife could not keep Yeats from having at least 5 affairs throughout his final years.
A brief forgiveness between opposites that have been hatreds for 3 times the age of this long-established ground.
this is quite interesting. Years later, on his deathbed, Yeats would be cared for by his wife and his latest mistress together. An iconic image from his play, The Only Jealousy of Eivor. The musician speaks.
A man lies dead or swooning. That amorous man, that amorous violent man, renowned Cuchulainn. Queen Eivor at his side. At her own bidding, all the rest have gone. But now one comes on hesitating feet. Young Enna, Cuchulainn's mistress. She stands a moment in the open door. Beyond the open door, the bitter sea. The shining bitter sea is crying out, white shell, white wing. I will not choose for my friend a frail, unserviceable thing that drifts and dreams, and but knows the waters are without end, and that wind blows.
Come hither. Come, sit down beside the bed. You need not be afraid, for I myself sent for you, Enna.
No, I have wronged you too deeply to sit there.
Of all the people in the world, we two and we alone may watch together here, because we have loved him best.
Is he dead?
Cuchulainn is not dead.
How did he come to this?
He fought the deathless sea. He waited out until the water swept over him, but the waves washed his senseless image up and laid it at this door.
Pale he looks.
He is not dead.
Cry out to him.
It is long since I could call him home. I am but his wife. But if you cry aloud with that sweet voice that is so dear to him, he cannot help but listen.
He loves me best, being his newest love. But in the end will love the woman best who loved him first, and loved him through the years when love seemed lost.
I have that hope, the hope that someday, somewhere, we will sit together at the hearth again.
Women like me, the violent hour passed over, are flung into some corner like old nutshells.
Bend over him. Call out dear secrets till you have touched his heart if he lies there. If he is not there till you have made him jealous.
Cuchulainn, listen.
Those words sound timidly. To be afraid because his wife is but 3 paces off. We are but 2 women struggling with the sea.
He does not speak, or else his ears are closed and no sound reaches him.
Then kiss that image. The pressure of your mouth upon his mouth may reach him where he is.
That is no man! I felt some evil thing that dragged my heart when my lips touched it.
What do you come for and from where? What one among the she has dared to lie upon Cuchulainn's bed and take his image?
I am named Recrew of the she.
Come for what purpose?
I show my face, and everything he loves must fly away.
You people of the wind are full of lying speech and mockery. I have not fled your face.
You are not loved.
Therefore have no dread. To meet your eyes, and you demand him of you.
For that I have come. You have but to pay the price, and he is free.
Do the she bargain?
I do not ask your life for any valuable thing. You spoke but now of the mere chance that someday you would be the apple of his eye again when old and ailing. But renounce that chance, and he shall live again.
I do not doubt that you have brought ill luck on all he loves. And now, because I am thrown beyond your power, unless your words are lies, you come to bargain.
You loved your mastery when but newly married, and I love mine. You have but to put yourself into that power, and he shall live again.
I have but 2 joyous thoughts. 2 things I prize, a hope and a memory, and now you claim that hope.
He'll never sit beside you at the hearth.
You ask for my one hope, that you might bring your curse on all about him.
You've watched his loves, and you have not been jealous, knowing he would tire. But do those tire that love the she? Come close. Let me touch your eyes, give you sight.
ghost of my husband is there.
Dissolve the dark that hid him from your eyes, but not that other that's hidden you from his.
Husband! Husband!
I cannot hear you, being a phantom shut off, that can neither touch, nor hear, nor see.
Who is this woman?
She has hurried from the country under wave, and dreamed herself to that shape, that he may lift her in her basket. She are dexterous fishers, and they fish for men with dreams upon the hook.
I know her sort.
Be silent. Listen. I have not given you eyes and ears for nothing.
Who is it stands before me there, shedding such light from limb and hair as when the moon complete at last, with every laboring crescent past, and lonely with extreme delight flings out upon the 15th night?
Because I am not complete. Pull your hands about your feet, pull down your head upon your knees, and hid your face.
Old memories, a woman in her happy youth, before her man had broken troth. Old memories have pulled my head upon my knees.
Could you, that have loved many a woman that did not reach beyond the human, lacking a day to be complete, love one that though her heart can beat, lacks it but by an hour or so?
I am not the young and passionate man I was, and though that brilliant light surpass all crescent forms, my memories weigh down my hands, abash my eyes,
and kiss my mouth. Though memory be beauty's bitterest enemy, I have no dread, for at my kiss, memory of the moment vanishes, nothing but beauty can remain.
And shall I never know again intricacies of blind remorse?
Time shall seem to stay his course. When your mouth and my mouth meet, all my round shall be complete, imagining all its circles run, and there shall be oblivion, even to quench Cahulin's drought, even to still that heart.
Your mouth, oh Aver, Aver.
So then it is she made you impure with mummery?
Aver, there we stand, side by side and hand in hand, tread the threshold of the house as when our parents married us.
Being among the dead, you love her that valued every slut above her while you still live.
Oh, my lost Aver.
What could make you fit to wive with flesh and blood? Being born to live where no one speaks of broken troth, for all have washed out of their eyes wind-blown dirt of their memories to improve their sight.
Your mouth.
Cry out, renounce his love. Make haste, cry,
Never
renounce
will I give that cry.
Fool, Lion Fan's enemy come to water will, and you stand gaping there. There is still time. Hear how the horses trample shore. Hear how they trample, she has mounted up. There is still a moment left. Cry out, renounce him, and her power is at an end. Cry! Cahulin's 20 down the step, cry!
I renounce Cahulin's love forever!
Hey, 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 amo, amo, hey, mo, hey, amo, hey, amo, hey, amo.
Look, he is there, and it is I that brought him from the sea, that brought him back to life.
Cahulin waits.
Your arms, Owenna. I have been in some strange place and am afraid.
I brought him back.
The musician ends the play with a refrain.
O bitter reward of many a tragic tune. We, though astonished, are dumb. Give but a sigh and a word, a passing word.
Aver and Cahulin are at once blessed and cursed by their access to the supernatural and their return to to the known world. The moon begins to wane again. We return to life. This is inevitable.
When have I last looked on the round green eyes and the long wavering bodies of the dark leopards of the moon? All the wild witches, those most noble ladies, for all their broomsticks and their tears, their angry tears, are gone. The holy centaurs of the hills are banished. I have nothing but the embittered sun. Banished, heroic Mother Moon, and vanished. And now that I have come to 50 years, I must endure the timid sun.
After the only jealousy of Eivor, Yeats did not return to his Cahulan cycle for 20 years.
19 years.
In order for a senator to read his speech. It is not in order precisely, but very great latitude has been allowed always in regard to that, particularly so in the case of a distinguished Irishman like Senator Yeats.
England
He
has
has
received
always
so high
inspired
in
poetry, which in a highly artistic form gives expression to the spirit of a whole nation. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
Our children are kings.
19 years. A significant time in which the artist yearned for artistic mastery, worldly success, and spiritual knowledge. 1919. Yeats' daughter is born, Anne. 1920. He tours America, including Cleveland.
Will your work stand the test of time?
1921.
Will it be
4
read in
plays for
100
dancers
years?
is published, and The Birth of a Son. 1922. Yeats becomes a senator.
Never be swept
His
away
father
into
dies.
anything. Live in
1923.
self-possession. Wisdom
Yates is
be
awarded
secret
the
and
Nobel
exalt.
Prize for
For of
Literature.
all things known, this is most
1924 essays
difficult.
published. 1925. Early poems and stories published.
He who attains unity of being
A
is
vision
some man
is
who,
delivered to
while
public.
struggling with his fate and his
1927.
destiny, is
Yeats
content
suffers
to
severe
struggle
influenza.
with no final conquest.
1928. The Tower is published. Yeats retires from the Senate.
What is truly yours?
1929.
What a
Suffers
mere
from Malta
affectation or mimicry.
1930.
Strive only for
Meets
authenticity.
Virginia Woolf. 1931. Honorary degree.
The way of wisdom is our own way,
32.
not the way of our
Lady Gregory
ancestors
dies.
who throng in our blood,
She was one of
not the way
Yeats'
found by
closest
some act of
friends,
submission to a
collaborators.
church
33.
or a passion
Collected poems.
to anybody or anything who would take from us the
Yeats
burden of
undergoes
ourselves.
the Steinic
That
operation,
burden is our
experiencing
glory.
a renewed sexual virility. 1935. The death of George Russell.
As the intellect
1936.
expands, spiraling out,
Illness in Mallorca.
emotional nature contracts,
BBC broadcast on
spiraling
modern
in,
poetry.
and then the gyres, reaching their limits,
1937.
change places, spiraling
Revised
point to
edition
circle,
of
circle
Vision
to
is
point,
published.
in a catastrophic
1938
world,
on the boiler
expanding and
published.
contracting
Olivia Shakespeare,
forever.
Yeats' first lover dies. Yeats' health is declining.
Dive in! You are the eye of the storm of the gyres. You yourself must embody truth.
The second coming.
Turn. I'm turning in the widening gyre. The falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Near anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed. And everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all dignity, while the rest are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is happening.
surely the second coming is at hand.
Second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image of the spirit of smoothly troubles my sight. Somewhere on the sands of the desert, a shape with Mayan body and the head of a man. A gaze blank and fearless as the sun is moving its slow thighs, while all about it reel shadows of the indignant desert birds. Darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of snowy sleep were ventured to nightmare like broken break, and wide round the beach, its hour of round at last slouches towards Bethlehem to be born.
Yeats begins writing The Death of Cahulan. This is the last year of his life.
Time's running down for Cahulan. The night of dream and memory has passed.
Here, Yeats is not inventing myth. He is transforming it into a symbolic reflection of his own mind. The death of Cahulan. 1939. The first stage directions read,
A very old man, looking like something out of myth.
He's describing himself. Yeah. Yeats has cast himself in the play in order to address the audience directly. The play begins.
I have been asked to produce a play called The Death of Cahulan. It is the last of a series of plays which has for theme his life and death. I have been selected because I am out of fashion and out of date, like the antiquated romantic stuff the thing is made of. I am so old that I have forgotten the name of my father and mother. I wanted an audience of 50 or 100, and if there are more, I beg them not to shuffle their feet or talk while the actors are speaking. I am sure that as I am producing a play for people I like, it is not probable in this vile age that they will be more in number than those who listened to the first performance of Milton's Comus.
Exactly 2.
If there are more than 100, I won't be able to escape people who are educating themselves out of the book societies and the like. Sciolists all, pickpockets and opinionated bitches. If you were as old, you would find it easy to get excited. Before the night ends, you will meet the music. I promise a dance. I wanted a dance because where there are no words, there is less to spoil. There must be severed heads. I am old. I belong to mythology. Severed heads to dance before. I had thought to have had those heads carved, but no. If the dancer can dance properly, no wood carving can look as well as a parallelogram of painted wood. But I was at my wit's end to find a good dancer. I could have got such a dancer once. But she has gone. Tragic comedian dancer. Upon the same neck, love and loathing, life and death. I spit 3 times. I spit upon the dancers painted by Degas. I spit upon their short bodices, their stiff stays, their toes whereon they spin like peg tops. Above all, upon that chambermaid face. They might have looked timeless. Ramses the Great, but not the chambermaid. That old maid history. I spit. I spit. I spit.
Half a minute later, Enna enters.
Kahulin! Kahulin! You must not linger here in slots for Maeve burns barns and houses. Your house already burns. No matter what's the odds, no matter though your death may come of it, ride out and fight. The scene is set. You must out and fight.
You told me nothing. I'm already armed. There's something in your hand.
I do not know how that got into my hand.
This letter tells a different story. I am not to move until tomorrow morning, for if now, I must face odds no man can face and live!
I do not understand who can have put that letter in my hand.
I much prefer your own unwritten words. I am for the fight!
Who among the gods of the air and upper air has a bird's head?
Morrigu is headed like a crow.
Morrigu, war goddess, stands between. Her black wing touched me, and now all is intelligible. Maeve put me into a trance.
Pure treachery, you told me those lies that should have brought about my death.
No, Maeve's magic made me draw you into battle. Whose mouth could you believe if not my mouth?
When I went mad at my son's death and drew my sword against the sea, it was my wife that brought me back.
But 'twas to me you turned. You're not the violent man I loved. That man forgave no treachery.
Everything sublunary must change. And if I have not changed, that goes to prove that I am monstrous.
If you can think those things and let me live, then you are about to die.
I make the truth. I am for the fight!
After a few moments, the stage goes dark.
I might have peace that know the Morrigu. The woman like a crow stands to my defense and cannot lie. But that Kahulin is about to die.
When it lights up again, Kahulin enters, wounded.
Am I recognized, Kahulin?
You fought with a sword. Seemed that we would kill each other. Then your body wearied, and I took your sword.
But look again, Kahulin. Look again. That time was long ago, and now it is my time. I have come to kill you.
Where am I? Why am I here?
You asked their leave when certain you had 6 mortal wounds to drink out of the pool.
Put my belt about this stone and want to fasten it, but am too weak. Want to die upon my feet. Fasten this belt. Now I know your name. Ife, the mother of my son. We met at the Hawk's Well under the withered trees. I killed him upon Balia's strand. You have a right to kill me.
Not a man of all that terrified army dare approach, but I approach.
Because you have the right.
But I am an old woman now, and that your strength does not start up when the time comes. I wind my veil about this ancient stone and fasten down your hands. Our son, how did he fight?
Age makes more skillful, but not better men.
I have been told you did not know his name, and wanted because he had the look of me to be his friend, but Connor forbade it.
Forbade it and commanded me to fight. That very day I swore to do his will. Yet I refused and spoke about a look. Somebody spoke of witchcraft, and I said witchcraft had made the look, and fought and killed him. Then I went mad, I fought against the sea.
I seemed invulnerable. You took my sword, you threw me to the ground and left me there. I searched the mountain for your sleeping place and laid my virgin body at your side. And yet, because you had left me, hated you, and thought to kill you in your sleep, and yet begot a son that night between two black thorn trees.
I cannot understand.
Because about to die, somebody comes, and when they find you here, we'll be terrified. I will keep from his sight, for I have things I must ask questions on before I kill you.
The blind man of Balia's strand comes in.
I think you are a blind old man.
A blind old beggar man. What is your name?
Cahulan!
They say you are weak with wounds. I stood between a fool and the sea on Balia's strand when you went mad. I've been listening since the dawn. Then I heard many voices. Somebody said, a big man by his voice, that if I brought Cahulan's head in a bag, I would be given 12 pennies. Today has been my lucky day.
12 pennies. Better reason for killing a man.
I would not promise anything until the woman, the great Queen Maeve herself, repeated the words.
12 pennies. You have a knife, but have you sharpened it?
I keep it sharp because it cuts my food.
I think you know everything, blind man. My mother or my nurse told me that the blind know everything.
No, but they have good sense. How could I have got 12 pennies for your head if I had not good sense?
It floats out there, the shape I shall take when I am dead. My soul's first shape, soft, feathery shape. And is that not a strange shape for the soul of a great fighting man?
Your shoulder is there. This is your neck. Are you ready, Cahulan?
I say it is about to sing.
The dead can hear me, and to the dead I speak. This head is great Cahulan's.
6 parallelograms.
6 severed heads.
mortal wounds. This man came first, Maeve's latest lover. This man had given him the second wound. He had possessed her once. These were her sons. Two valiant men. One gave him the third and one the fourth. These other men were men of no account. They saw that he was weak and crept in. One gave him the fifth wound and one the sixth. Connell avenged him. I arranged the dance.
Those long, pale faces, hear their great horses, then recall what centuries have passed since they were living men. But there are still some living that do my wounds unclothe, but that the flesh my flesh has gripped, I both adore and loathe.
Are those things men adore and loathe their sole reality? What stood in the post office with Pierce and Connolly? What comes out of the mountain where men first shed their blood? Who thought Cuchulainn, till it seemed he stood where they had stood? No body like his body has modern woman born, but an old man looking back on life imagines it in scorn. A statue's there to mark the place, by Oliver Shepherd done. So ends the tale that the harlot sang to the beggar man.
So ends my play. The play seems almost a dramatization of your life, projected into Cuchulainn, your heroic mask, confronting the darkness before you and exploring the potential for an immortality beyond.
I am happy. And I think full of an energy I had despaired of. It seems to me that I have found what I wanted When I try to put all into a phrase, I say, man can embody truth, but he cannot know it. I must embody it in the completion of my life. Yes. The abstract is not life, and everywhere drags out its contradictions. You can refute Hegel, but not the Senate. What a song of sixpence.
There, all the barreled hoops are knit. There, all the serpent tails are bit. There, all the gyres converge in one. There, all the planets drop in the sun.
What need have you to have for wisdom waterfall?
Silent words with William Butler Yeats. Poet.
The Choice by William Butler Yeats, my favorite poem. It asks the question, can you create great art and have a great home life? William Butler Yeats didn't think so. I don't know, I ask myself that every day.
You know the one about the golden apples of the sun? It's my favorite, really. The deep longing for unattainable beauty is a wellspring of Yeats' creative energy. The silver apples of the moon